Alright, hello. I did my first kill as Frost on Fyrakk this past week, and I wanted to make a video about it. It was rank 5 at the time, now it's rank 7. I think you're going to see a lot of why that ended up happening. For starters, 5 uses of Valorless, no crits, and I also accidentally played Temport Warp, which is really good if you're lusting P2, which might be what this guy did, but it's pretty bad if you're lusting P3, which is what I did. Yeah, see the lust P2, so that's super valuable for them. Um, but yeah, I played what looks like to be the standard build set. You're playing Coldest Snap just for a little bit of extra damage on the ads. This stuff doesn't really matter as much for Frost and single target. It's nice to have if you're progging and you don't need ad damage. I probably wouldn't take Coldest Snap. Again, this is just a re-clear, so I decided to take it. And then everything else is standard. I still like Shimmer on this fight. I think a decent amount of people have been maybe trying Ice Blues. Yeah, at one now and then. But I'm a big Shimmer fan, so yeah, let's get into it. You do need to delay your opener slightly on this poll. You don't want it to actually be pre-poll. You want it to happen like essentially right after the poll count starts. So you can see that happen here, right? Then you just do your normal opener. You can see I did an Ice Lance and then I Comet Stormed and Balefired and Raid. That's just because, the boss is still moving, so I want my Comet Storm to actually land on him. If I Comet Stormed first before the Ice Lance, it would be over here. Right? And then P1 is pretty chill as Frost. You have a lot of good movement as Frost, so you're not really worried. I like to do this where I'm starting far away from him. I do like the GS into Flurry. I do the one Ice Lance, and then I shoot my orb while the orb is traveling. I then remove this Remain Winter's Chill, and then I also spin this Spirit of Frost. And then depending on how you proc, like right now, I should be able to Ice Lance and then Ice Lance again, maybe. Or I shifting power to force myself to be able to Ice Lance again, so I don't have to Frostbolt between them. And I can just GS into Flurry, right? And the boss is moving, so I did not count from yet, but there we go. I alter back there, getting close to Belarus, and now we have the soaks. Not a big deal. Alter out. And then I kind of want to be a little bit more towards this inner line. My goal right now is I want to get my Ray of Frost off when it's off cooldown. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty hard to do while we're moving. So you can see I wait here for like half a second to use it. Ideally, in this case, since I had another flurry charge, maybe I wait to Comet Storm first, because technically my Ray was just moving or missing 6% damage, but you can see like all this movement I have just anyway, right? That's a lot harder to do as fire, because you normally don't have SKB up there, and your combust is a few seconds late for it. We are boosting someone, by the way, if you're wondering why this guy's dead. It's because boosting him, gotta make that gold somehow, It's pretty nice, because I don't normally ever get it. All right, that's also another really good spot to alter. And then I also mass barrier. That was just assigned by my guild, whether or not you want to or not. I'm ice holding here. It's not really necessary. This hit does a lot of damage. If you hit by any frontals, it's rough. And also if you have barrier up, it ensures that your barrier is gonna stay around while your balefire is active during the important parts. So. I got kind of lucky there, honestly. I did have a shimmer, so I could shimmer. I'm just a little wary about, baiting a lot of the errant Dark Embers in places where it'll kill people. So we didn't really have to stop damage there, but a lot of times we do. I also didn't notice that he swapped the gate placement. It's kind of scary, so G and Viz, you get a lot of extra defenses on this fight as Mage usually. Um, that's not that bad. Normally I also alter like those blazes, but I had to use it for the movement earlier. So we have Wernstone here. You don't really need to. You could Shimmer. But I have Wernstone just for P3 when I'm doing one of the seeds. So yeah. Here, I'm going to Shifting Power, and I'm going to delay my Icy Veins a little bit. This, if you Icy Veins right now, it's pretty good for boss damage. It also carries into the Colossuses pretty well. I'm just minorly delaying it till and I accidentally pressed Cone of Cold there. That's like one of my biggest mistakes, because I'd Cone of Colded right after I'd Balefired. So now I did this GS into Flurry, and then I Ice Lance, and then I Ray, and I just, I've lost so many Balefire stacks already. Plus my Cone of Cold is on CD, which actually matters right now because I have Coldest Snap coming up, or I have Cold Snap, and I want to Cold Snap the ads, right? So that was pretty rough. That was a big mistake. That and the Temporal Warp thing were pretty egregious. So yeah, I'm just saving my orb here for the ads. There's also going to be a part where I don't Comet Storm off CD, and it's going to cause me to miss at least one use of Comet Storm. So I could maybe have Shattered a GS. That probably would have been pretty impactful, but I decided to just go for the Shifting Power channel. Then here, of course, I want to use my Bellerlos. I am using one Blue Silken Lining, I believe, here, so I'm not getting very good uptime on the parts where it matters, which is, when you're Ray Frosting, really. So this is like the time where I could have Comet Stormed, And again, I am kind of saving this orb as well for a long time, so I don't really know if that's ideal, but get Icy Veins. And then I'm also going to Balefire this Coldest Snap, I believe. Yeah, so Balefired, and this is pretty bad because they weren't all grouped yet, right? So ideally, I probably would have delayed it and then Balefired later and everything. It would have been a lot better. And I would have hit a lot more of those, so. You can see I'm using my Shatters as well, just to make sure I'm double shattering Glacial Spike here. That's a very big thing to do. I could have shattered that Screen Soul as well. That would have been pretty good, but I wanted to get the Ray Frost off inside Icy Veins. So. And now we're in the pretty chill part of the fight, which is weird to say, when you're getting to the ending part, but still. I'm a huge fan of P3. I think P3 is really fun on this fight. The rest of the fight, the P2's fine. I don't really like P1. It's kind of annoying. Not the best Comet Storm, but I wanted to get on cooldown here because he's running. And you see my Belleros was actually delayed a couple times during this fight. Normally Belleros is used right here, especially since I'm a seed person. It's really good to use Belleros here because it means I can then, pick up my seed and I don't have to walk forward again. Whereas here, I'm going in, I'm Bellerosing, I'm already dying, it's not ideal. But playing this a little, close. Here I realize I have Temporal Warp. I also use Balefire pretty poorly there. If you want to use it without Ray Frost and Icy Veins, which I think this was fine to do once I was in Lust, then I should have used it after the Glacial Spike. I used it beforehand, a little bit. We're kind of in P3 and I'm like, oh my god, I need to do things. But Yeah, no altar here is pretty bad. I definitely didn't need to run as much as I did there, but I'm trying to be very ethical. It's also overcapped Comstorm quite a bit, but that would have been good for me to do, just the Glacial Spike into Ray Frost, but that was my seed set, so I want to make sure I'm in the right place. I just decided to Lust here because my Icy Instant coming out for 40 seconds, and this boss is kind of getting shredded. So I don't know when he's going to die, and I just want to make sure I get this full use of Lust, even though ideally I wouldn't be playing the talent at all, right? So next week, definitely going to play Time Anomaly. I think I told my guild I would research P2 Lust, but I probably won't do that. So couldn't Ice Lance there because the Glacial Spike was on the last stack of Winter's Chill. A little bit of the classic Ice Nova during movement. So again, I'm overcapping a lot of CDR on Countstorm right here, which means I'm probably missed, around 2 to 3 Comet Storms in this fight, I would say, versus if I use them in cooldown. Or delayed my shifting power a little bit. In this case, it probably didn't matter. But yeah, there you go. So I was rank 5 at the time, rank 7 now. I think I can definitely improve this quite a bit. I don't know. I think I do. I think I get up here next week, probably. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Things could go wrong. But, having 5 casts of Bellerillos and no crits is insanely unlucky. Here's the rest of my damage. I did have 20 icicle hits. This definitely could have been reduced. I mean, this isn't ideal, but this can show you like how much I'm gonna have against the boss is a lot less because they have the cleave hits, which can confuse things. 11 in 10 minutes is pretty good, actually. And there was a couple times, I was using abilities that generate icicles when he's about to fly away, and I didn't have time really to do anything else. It does look like I probably had pretty high numbing blast uptime. Normally, I think you have about 46%. So we can check that if we want, but yeah. You can see my 2 set did 3.2% of my damage, and that's essentially only on the ads, so pretty substantial. And Comet Storm also, like 11% Comet Storm damage is wild. And there's a lot of it to the boss, but the Screaming Souls are doing a very large percentage of that. So, I hope this was kind of interesting for seeing how we do our cooldown management on this fight. If you want to watch me do the boss again, we'll be doing it again on Friday. I stream my raid nights on Friday, which is 6 p.m. PST, essentially, for a couple hours. We're probably going to keep boosting, so that makes it a little bit better, honestly, on like these types of bosses where, we actually kind of need the damage on the ads. Oh my god, 5% red over uptime. That's pretty bad. Yeah. But I think our only paladin was dead because we were missing our warlock, so our actual paladin swapped. Anyway, not relevant. So, as you saw, mix of a little gameplay, mix of a little RNG for where we're ending up today. So, let me know if you have any questions, and have a good rest of your day.